you do when your body is broken, your spirit crushed, and giving up feels easier than breathing? Most people collapse. That's what the brain's wired to do. Quit when survival feels impossible. But Demon Slayer flips that script. It shows us what happens when someone refuses to let suffering be the end of the story. Tanjiro Kamado isn't the strongest swordsman. He doesn't have flashy powers. Half the time, he's bleeding out, wheezing, or face-planting into the dirt like he just lost a bet with gravity. But here's the thing. Resilience doesn't care how strong you look. It cares how long you endure. Tanjiro doesn't just fight demons. He fights through broken bones, torn lungs, and the weight of despair. And today, we're breaking down exactly how Tanjiro turns pain into fuel and how you can do the same. Stay with me, because by the end, you'll know why never giving up isn't just an anime cliché. It's the only way to live. Pain isn't a stop sign. It's proof you're still in the fight. We treat pain like it's the enemy. The moment life hurts, physically, mentally, emotionally, we scramble to escape, numb it, avoid it, complain about it. But here's the truth. If you're in pain, it means you're not finished yet. It means you're still alive. And if you're complaining about arm day soreness, congratulations, you're not dying, you're just dramatic. Modern psychology agrees. Research in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience shows that pain isn't just a warning signal, it actually triggers adaptive growth responses in the brain and body. In other words, pain is the body's way of upgrading you if you lean into it instead of running away. Season 1, Episode 19. Tanjiro is wrecked. Broken ribs, lungs screaming, vision blurry. Rui's threads are slicing through the air. Logic says collapse, die quietly, end the suffering. But Tanjiro digs in. He anchors himself in breath. Water breathing wasn't just swordplay, it was survival. With every inhale, he turns pain into focus. With every exhale, he reclaims control. And that's when the Hinokami Kagura ignites. Marathon runners call it the wall. Around mile 20, the body screams, "Stop!" Legs cramp, lungs burn, and the brain whispers, "You're done." But seasoned runners know. Push past the wall, and suddenly there's a second wind. The pain doesn't vanish, it transforms. Meanwhile, the rest of us hit the wall walking up 3 flights of stairs and immediately reconsider our life choices. Tanjiro shows us the same truth. Pain didn't end him, it revealed him. Pain wasn't the obstacle. It was the forge that shaped the unbreakable spirit we still talk about years later. So, here's your move. The next time you feel overwhelmed, don't ask, "How do I make this stop?" Ask, "What is this pain trying to build in me?" Use your breath as your anchor. Inhale slow, exhale slower. Give your body the oxygen it needs to endure. Because pain is not the signal to quit. It's the signal you're leveling up. When chaos surrounds you, awareness is your weapon. Think about the last time you panicked. Maybe during an exam, a job interview, or in traffic when everything spiraled. Your brain wasn't helping. It was sprinting in circles like a caffeinated hamster. And that panic, it made everything worse. Most people crumble under chaos because they let the storm outside turn into a storm inside. But here's the twist. Focus under fire isn't about ignoring fear. It's about seeing clearly despite it. Psychologists call this cognitive reappraisal. A 2012 study in Emotion found that when people reframe stress as a challenge instead of a threat, their performance and their resilience spike. Awareness reframes chaos. It turns overwhelming threats into solvable problems. In the swamp demon fight, Tanjiro is dragged into an underwater void. No oxygen, no light, just swirling panic. But instead of thrashing blindly, he slows his thoughts. Breath control, awareness. He analyzes the demon's patterns, finds the weak point, and slices clean. Most fighters would have drowned in fear. Tanjiro survived by being calm inside chaos. Surgeons do the same thing. Imagine being elbow deep in an operation and something goes wrong. Blood pressure drops, alarms blaring. A surgeon can't afford panic. They slow their mind, see clearly, act with precision. Meanwhile, the rest of us lose Wi-Fi for 10 seconds and act like civilization just ended. Tanjiro teaches us the same principle. Chaos is not the enemy. It's the test. The one who keeps awareness when the world is burning, that's the one who wins. So, here's what you can steal from Tanjiro. When panic hits, name the chaos. I feel fear. My body's racing. Naming it creates distance. Anchor back to breath. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. It tricks your nervous system into calm, even if the world's collapsing. Awareness doesn't make the fire disappear. It makes you the one who can walk through it. You can endure anything if you have a why. Let's be real. Pain without purpose feels like torture. That's why most people quit. Not because the suffering was too much, but because it felt meaningless. Running on empty, you'll collapse. Running with a reason, you'll bleed before you break. And yes, even if your reason is as petty as proving your high school gym teacher wrong. Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl wrote in Man's Search for Meaning, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." Modern psychology backs this up. Research in the Journal of Positive Psychology shows that people who tie effort to personal meaning recover faster from setbacks and push harder under stress. Season 1, Episode 19. Rui's threads slice into Tanjiro, tearing him apart. He's seconds from collapse. And then, Nezuko. Her life flashes before him. He doesn't fight to prove his strength. He fights because his sister's survival depends on it. That moment transforms the battle. It's not about his broken ribs anymore. It's about protecting the only family he has left. Olympic athletes know this feeling. Some finish races with torn ligaments, stress fractures, bodies screaming to shut down. They don't endure because pain feels noble. They endure because their years of sacrifice, their teammates, their country are on the line. Meanwhile, the rest of us pull a muscle, tie on our shoes, and immediately Google, is it possible to get workers' comp for existing? Tanjiro shows us when pain serves a purpose, it isn't just endurable, it becomes holy. Every broken bone, every scar, every drop of blood gains meaning. Here's how to make this practical. Write down your why. Not a fluffy slogan, something visceral. Who or what you would suffer for. And the next time you want to quit, say it out loud. Anchor your struggle to that purpose. Because pain with no reason breaks you. But pain with a purpose, that's what makes you unbreakable. Resilience isn't born in battle. It's built in training. Here's the truth most people miss. When life crushes you, you don't suddenly rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of your preparation. And if that preparation is just binge watching motivational TikToks, good luck when the chaos hits. Tanjiro doesn't survive because he's special. He survives because he's trained until breathing itself became a weapon. Hours of repetition, endless waterfall breathing, splitting boulders until his hands bled. A study in the Journal of Applied Sports Psychology found that athletes who mentally rehearse and repeat training routines show greater resilience under stress compared to those who just wing it. Practice doesn't just sharpen skills, it literally builds neural armor. Tanjiro's brutal training in Season 1 under Yuro Kodaki. He's running through forests, balancing on logs, controlling his breath under waterfalls, and finally splitting the massive boulder. By the time he faced demons, he didn't need to think. Endurance was instinct. Soldiers do the same thing. They drill endlessly, not because it's fun, but because when bullets fly, the body already knows what to do. Meanwhile, we complain about doing 2 days at the gym like we deserve a medal. Spoiler, you don't get abs for showing up twice. Training is the cheat code most people ignore. You don't rise in battle. You reveal the training you've already done. Tanjiro didn't unleash Hinekami Kagura by accident. He had prepared his lungs, his muscles, his spirit long before he needed them. Here's your endurance training. Daily journaling. Treat it like emotional push-ups. Write down where you faltered, how you reframed it, what you'll try again. Small stress steps. Cold showers. Early alarms. Choosing discomfort daily. They're not punishments. They're training drills for when life swings hard. Because when the storm hits, you won't magically level up. You'll fight with whatever you've practiced. So maybe practice something stronger than scrolling Twitter at 2 a.m.? True strength isn't about never failing. It's about rising every single time. Most people think resilience is about being untouchable, never failing, never stumbling. But that's fantasy. Real life, you will fall. You will get wrecked. The question is, do you stay down or do you rise bloody, battered, and unbowed? Modern psychology calls this psychological resilience. Studies in the Annual Review of Psychology show that people who frame setbacks as temporary, not permanent, are the ones who bounce back strongest. Entertainment district arc. Tanjiro poisoned. Trembling. Vision blurred. Gyataro taunting. Victory inches away from being stolen. Logic says collapse, but Tanjiro refuses. He plants his feet, bloodied hands tighten on the hilt, side by side with Tengen. He keeps fighting. Cancer survivors embody this truth. Endless rounds of chemo, exhaustion, hair loss, and yet many keep showing up. Not because it's easy, not because they feel strong every day, but because spirit isn't measured by comfort. It's measured by how much you refuse to quit. Tanjiro shows us that unbreakable spirit isn't about winning every battle. It's about refusing to bow, even when losing seems guaranteed. His body breaks, his breath falters, but his will, untouchable. Here's how you can live it. Reframe setbacks. Don't call them failures. Call them reps. Every time life knocks you down, it's training you to get up faster. Set a non-negotiable line. One thing you'll never quit on, no matter what. Health, your craft, someone you love. Anchor to it. Because resilience isn't about avoiding the fall. It's about becoming the kind of person who always rises. Pain is temporary. Spirit is eternal. Tanjiro's story isn't about flashy powers or impossible strength. It's about choosing to breathe when your ribs are cracked, to stand when your knees buckle, to rise when defeat seems certain. The Stoics taught, if it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. Tanjiro embodies this every time he pushes forward, and so can you. Because resilience isn't about feeling invincible. It's about being unbreakable even when you're falling apart. Because the only true defeat comes when you stop fighting.